our little friend, the hummingbird, out here who guards his little nest. Actually, he's guarding his feeder, so he sits out here. And there's a woodpecker in the tree next to me, and he's making noise. I don't know, guys, if you can hear it, but I'll stay quiet and calm so you guys can see the hummingbird come up to the feeder because he's pretty cute. See if he does it. Well, we got little chickadees. They say squawk, squawk. Maybe if I go the other way. Chirp, chirp. Go over here. Hi, little ones. There he is. Hey, sweet. This is a little female or a young male. We believe it is an Anis hummingbird. So he goes over to the bush over there, and he sits on the branch. Isn't that cute? And he's guarding the feeder for his lady friend. That's what he's doing. Isn't that cute? Yeah. All right, I had to show you that because when I come out in the morning, they all come to greet me, and it's really cute, and I sort of feel like Snow White. It's pretty awesome. Up in there, we've got a little sassy squirrel, and there is a woodpecker in the trees, and we also have a couple of owls up in those trees. Oh, did you hear them? I don't know if you heard them or not. We've got a nest, it looks like, right over there. Could be an owl's nest, not sure, but that's where a lot of the hooting happens at night. There's a hoot, hoot, hoot. It's like a hootin' party. The trees have thinned out a little bit, and you can see the ocean from here, but it's better a little bit down. I've done a little bit of work down there in the garden, clearing some stuff out and trimming some stuff back, getting ready for some things to come. I've gotten some really cool seeds. These are nasturtium, and I had nasturtium in the corner of my garden just on the other side of that sage. It was already growing, and I'm hoping that the orange reseeds itself. It may not, and if it didn't, here, I'll just put this down. If it didn't, I also got these nasturtium, which all the colors in there, and it's just beautiful. And that's the plant that kind of has this bright, beautiful flowers, as you can see, but they have like little lily pad sort of looking leaves, and I really liked them. Next up, I was going to plant, and I haven't figured all this out yet. We're still discussing what we're going to do in that garden. This is Craspedia. Craspedia I have used a lot in the wedding bouquets, especially with succulents. It was a thing. People find it over Pinterest a lot. That is pretty awesome. And I've never seen the seeds, so I'm going to give it a go and hope the deer don't eat it. And then we have lupine. Beautiful colors. They're going to be pretty tall. I'm really excited to bring a lot more color to the garden than had been there previously. And then, of course, delphinium. And this is Pacific Giants. So they get, I mean, they're no joke. Like, here's the railing here. They're going to get, like, super tall. So I'm excited about that. And if you didn't know what that is, that's belladonna, by the way. So I'm going to take you on down to the garden so you guys can see some of the stuff we've pulled out and things that we found. There's a lot of stuff that looks like it had already been planted there, and the strawberries had grown so much it was ridiculous. And it looks like I got some birds and stuff in there. As you can see, the bamboo is split and has just been falling apart and coming down in places. There's one just lying on the ground here. It's coming off. Oh, there's one just coming off right there. So some of this stuff has been zip tied in places, trying to keep it together. I'll probably reuse the bamboo for any of the things that I might need to make a trellis out of, any of the ones that are sound. I'll do that. So we were talking about the nasturtium. Nasturtium was all right here, and it has now died back. We've got some primroses coming up right there. My sage is doing great, and I've got some more primrose over on this side. That was pretty. That's lovely. Here's the strawberry patch. Might as well just open the gate and go in. Here's the strawberry patch. Strawberries have gotten quite aggressive, so they started to go over here. I've been crazy, and so I got in there, what was it, Wednesday? I got in there Wednesday and just tried to clear them out, get them out, and they'd gone all the way down the other side. I'm like, oh my God. There were chives in here. There was things for bell pepper in here. Little planting things here. Bell pepper was planted here, but I don't see any evidence of it. We did find some chives, some onions in there. I don't know how much or how long. We had broken pieces of pottery in here where they looks like they just, I don't know what they I don't know. It's a little crazy. My olive tree is doing great. I'm going to try to restake them, clean out under here, give it some tree food. We had a little tomato patch, which is probably not the best spot for the tomatoes. We may move it, we may not move it. I don't know what's happening there. Bing cherry tree, and we're already getting some buds on it. Pretty awesome. Isn't that cool? And then we've got our apple tree, and then there's all this that I cleared out and whatnot, and I'm putting it over in the compost area. We snipped some of the peach tree because we're going to be making a door. We trimmed around. This was just a giant mess. Nobody could get through on this side. So we trimmed around over here. Trim. Cleaned out underneath here. We found some really pretty purple sage, which doesn't look so purple right now. I'm sure that when it warms up it will. Right now we're dealing with about 45 degrees. You could probably see my breath. This rosemary is like huge. It's a big, huge, fabulous rosemary. But we had to trim him back because he was coming like way like over here. So you can be sure to know that there's going to be some wonderful rosemary smudge sticks if anybody's interested. I found marjoram under here. Some people say marjoram, but I found marjoram under here, and I love marjoram. I also found lime thyme. So this to me is like an herb garden, is what my little herb island that I got going here. So I thought that for sure I need to plant some parsley. So I have parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Haha, see, I had to go there. So yeah, see, those strawberries came all the way over here, and they went all the way down that rung. And I got to clear out underneath here yet still, clean up over here. The outside, some of the coneflowers and things like that I planted did not make it. I'm thinking I need to possibly out there. I've got a bird squawking at me. He's in that tree over there. He's going rah, rah, rah at me. Somebody let their parrot out? I don't know. Crazy. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, I'm probably going to, those lupine and some other, the large delphiniums and things like that, I'm probably going to plant out there, assuming that they're okay and deer resistant, because those deers are around, and boy, they like to do stuff. Okay, this I also think is maybe some chive or something coming back up. Pretty nift. Clear a path, lots of junk there. There was asparagus planted here, which didn't do anything. This is a lemonade blueberry, which I'm probably going to keep, but maybe just not right there. We talked about bringing in those big galvanized, whatchamacallit, troughs, and just putting, 3 in a row to try to maximize. I think better yet, what we're going to do is get those stone pavers and go all the way around. It would be more cost effective and I'd maximize my garden space. We're going to remove the gooseberry out of there because it is thorny mean. It is mean. And I also have another gooseberry over there on the other side, so I do not need 2 of those thorny mean gooseberries. I have another lemonade raspberry or a blueberry that I will probably get rid of, or move or give away or something. But this little blueberry here is doing well. I think I'm going to move him over there or over here. I think he'll get better sun and it'll be good. He'll be over here and nobody's going to get him. So there's that. And that will allow me to start putting stuff in here, and I will be putting in more than likely, I think towards the fence and all that stuff is going to be more of anything that's vining, like squash or peas, things like that. I'm probably going to put towards the outside because it'll have already a little trellis for it. And then in here, I'm most likely going to be doing root vegetables, Swiss chard, might give a stab at cabbage, artichokes, things like that. So it's going to be more vegetables in here than there ever was. So we're going to have fruits and vegetables and then herbs, and I will probably put more herbs around, but in other, like I definitely want some mint, but I remember from my last garden, mint sort of took over, kind of like these strawberries did, so they're going to have to be contained. I've got natural borage growing over there. You should want to look that up because that is a witchy herb. It is a good stuff. So I'm going to allow that to probably be a little herb space over there. Clean up what I can clean up and then maybe do a little raised container of some stuff going on there. So that's pretty awesome. So I know it doesn't look like much now, but there's not much that you can do other than clean up and get rid of the dead stuff right now because it's still too early to start our planting. Right here, let me reduce that down. We had cut the tree, which had been cut there several times, but this peach tree needs some more pruning, all of these underneath branches, because the fruit won't grow on these branches coming down. So we need to alleviate some of the extra weight there. And there's going to be a door right through there. This tree is a pear tree and is going to also be moved probably over here somewhere. It's going to move so we can keep him. He's one of those scientific grafted trees that gives you 2 different kinds of fruit, I think. But there's going to be a great big door right there that goes into the greenhouse, which is all of those windows on the other side. So I'm starting to get really excited about the garden, but I also know that it's a lot of work, but I'm excited to see what we can do and how it's going to be and all that stuff. Probably waiting for some taxes to come back before we could probably afford the pavers and those types of things now, and the dirt and things like that. But if I did pavers along the side here, and raise them up, so that way the pavers aren't going to corrode, they're stone. They're not going to corrode like the galvanized troughs, so I can maximize this space all the way along this side and then towards the back side and make a nice big L. And then I'm planning on terracing this. I've got my bay leaf plant, which I love. So super awesome bay leaf. And I have to sing to it. Oh. And then the pavers on the inside here, and kind of like Bear was suggesting, kind of like a a long oval. So that's a thing. And then on this side, I think that I might not make any raised areas. It's going to be more walkway, and there might be like a little sitting spot there. And have you ever seen where they take the wood slices of rounds, wood rounds, and I'm going to be placing those all down around in the path to make it very aesthetically pleasing. I wanted to show you real quick before I go back in. I got to get ready for work. Oh, there's the Japanese maple. The Japanese maple in dormant winter. We notice there's little buds on him too. He's about to come back. He's got to get trimmed back because here's our pathway. And he's taking it up. That is clematis, and clematis is just gonna like that. My rose bush never stopped blooming. It kept blooming throughout the winter, so it's still doing its thing, but it's gonna come back really good. I'm gonna I already trimmed back some, but I'm going to trim back some more, just so that I can get some really good blooms out of it. We got some new growth on it. Awesome. But where there is no new growth, I'm going to trim back a little bit. Okay, here's your ocean. So here's my ocean view. I always dreamt of having a little cottage house next to the ocean, right? Here's my little magic cottage. That's my ocean. So right there, that's where we had walked out when it was the full moon last month, full moon, super moon, where we walked out and did all of our, whatchamacallit, our harvesting, our water harvesting and all this other stuff. Isn't that awesome? Winter, our fancy view. I don't know if you guys can still see. But yeah, that's the ocean over there. So I like to look up, and especially on a clear day. Right now it's a little foggy, so you can't really totally see it, but there you go. How's that? Better? So there's my ocean. I can imagine that when the house was first built, these trees weren't as tall. So these trees, I'm sure it had an ocean, gorgeous ocean view. But in the spring and the summer, everything's going to get real thick again and lush and beautiful and green, which I love. And we're not going to be able to see it. So there you go, ocean view. All right. I'll love and leave you for now. Hope to talk to you tomorrow or maybe this evening even. Have a good night. And also, it is the full moon, I believe, tonight. It is January 20th. So enjoy your full moon. I actually intend on putting some stuff out and charging some crystals and doing some stuff and seeing what that feels like magically in this new space. I haven't really done that yet. So yeah, I'm definitely going to put some stuff out on a tray and see how it goes. Be awesome. All right. Many blessings, you guys. Have a good day.